The NFL season kicks off in a week. I'm stoked. I'm excited. So what better time than now to do a 2022 NFL mock draft? And the best part of this, it's based off my draft order, my predictions. I'm using basically what I did in my deep dive series. If you haven't checked that out, I'll leave it in the iCard, the playlist for that. I went through team by team and gave you a breakdown of the roster and predictions on how I think they would fare this season. So I get a better idea of maybe what the team would need and probably how they should draft. But yeah, if anything, this is just to kind of, we're doing this for fun. We're doing this maybe to open your minds up to different perspectives or highlight prospects that you might not know about yet. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Let's go ahead and get in the nitty-gritty. I will be streaming a watch-along this Saturday. We're going to be doing the Alabama-Miami game. That way you get to see me cry because I'm a Hurricanes fan. And then we get to see probably the much better game, Georgia-Clemson. So join me for that. But Spencer Rattler, he's going to the Texans. Deshaun Watson, he doesn't want to play there. It's likely that they'll hold on to him for this season and then trade him in the offseason. At least that's how it sounds like everything's going to go. So they're going to go with the top quarterback on the board. Spencer Rattler, he's got a special type of arm. He can make any and every NFL throw. The guy got some playmaking ability. He's good. And then Detroit, we're going with Sam Howell, Jared Goff. I'm just saying, if the Detroit Lions are drafting at 2, Jared Goff probably didn't play too well. You might be like, well, he doesn't have any playmakers. And I would be like, he had playmakers in LA, and it didn't work out. So, and if anything, Sam Howell is very similar in his tools and has a very similar play style to Jared Goff. So you're going ahead, you're taking who you think is probably going to be a better player long term right there anyway. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. So we will have another pick as Detroit later on in this first round, but let's go to pick 3 being the Eagles. I go with Derek Stingley. For me, this is a bit early for Malik Willis going number 3. I'm not there yet on him. I want him to have the off-season process. I want to see how he fares this year. I want to see his accuracy get a bit better. So there's a lot of questions with Malik Willis. I wouldn't say he's number 3 overall. The Eagles, we got 2 other picks because I'm assuming Carson Wentz is going to be playing 70% of the snaps because it sounds like he could be starting week 1. So there is that. So I'm going to assume that the Colts won't be keeping their first-round pick. So Eagles, we got 2 more picks later on. Maybe we can grab a quarterback with one of those because this is their pick. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, he won't so hot, he won't so good if they're picking 3rd overall. Let's go ahead. Let's help the secondary out. Steven Nelson, he's not a long-term answer. They have Slay. I really feel like Zack McPherson? I believe the Texas Tech the guy they drafted at Texas Tech last year. I feel like he's more of a slot guy anyway. So Derek Stingley is a wonderful prospect. He's my number 2 overall prospect on my big board. Check out my big board, by the way, if you haven't already. 300 prospects. It's kind of wild. But yeah, we're going to go with that. And then at number 4, we get spicy. We get hot. This is the Jets pick. And I go with some pass rush. I'm going with DeMarvin Leal. I think, for me, him and Kayvon Thibodeau are very, very close together. It's like 1A, 1B. I got Leal just a tad higher. Literally just one spot higher. And I really think that he's a Robert Saleh. He's more of a Robert Saleh type of edge rusher. He's kind of like an Eric Armstead where he could kind of kick inside if need be, because the dude's 290. He has great hands. Stupid explosive for a guy that's 290. Doesn't really look 290 either. He might be closer to 280, but just the movement skills are great. The explosiveness is great. He's a great prospect. I just think he's more of a scheme fit, more of what Saleh likes. With that being said, number 5 is the Cincinnati Bengals going Evan Neal. I wanted to go with Thibodeau so bad, but I think Neal is a close enough prospect that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go with the need here because Riley Reif, he's really just a Band-Aid on an open wound at this point. So we're going to go ahead, get Evan Neal. He played right tackle there at Alabama. He's playing left this year, but we know we could kick him back to the right side. get some more protection for your franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow. Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest and the best place to go play fantasy football for big cash prizes. Ooh, wee. And let me tell you, Underdog, they got you covered. All you have to do is draft. No need to worry about injuries, waivers, or lineups. Underdog, they got you covered. So go online or use the app, which is pretty slick, and just draft a season-long best ball team, and they take care of the rest. No in-season management required. And they're willing to give you $25 when you sign up, so you can take a shot in their $1 million fantasy football tournament, or you can play in some other best ball leagues, or even make prop bets. Now you get that free $25 on Underdog when you use the promo code BROSHMO. It's free to sign up, so use promo code BROSHMO. Bam, you get your $25 once you make your first deposit. So drop $1 in there, bam, you got $26. You big spender, y'all baller. But go ahead, support Underdog. It helps me out. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And if you're looking for more fantasy content from me, check me out on TikTok at Broshmo. The link's in the description below. And then number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going Kayvon Thibodeau. He's the best prospect on the board. What is it, Josh Allen? I believe he's a free agent after the 2022 season. So maybe they hold on to him, maybe not. It'll be interesting to see how Clavon Chason, how he develops this season. But regardless, this is the best prospect on the board. Pass rush. It's stupid important. The Jags, they didn't have it last year. So I assume things, even if they do get a little bit better, it's still the best player on the board. If anything, I'd trade down then maybe. But yeah, Thibodeau's just too hard to pass up. Here at 6, that's just too good. And then at 7, I got Malik Willis going to the Raiders. And you'd be like, oh, you're not willing to take him at 3, but you're going to take him at 7. Listen, there's a big difference between picking 3rd overall and then picking 7th. And if you're the Raiders, I feel like if you're picking at the top 10 at this point, you got to fire John Gruden, right? You got to assume, like, you got to part ways at some point. Even if they don't, you know Derek Carr's probably not the answer. And you know what? Malik Willis, he won't be ready probably to start out the gates. Derek Carr is a wonderful bridge quarterback. And then maybe you could trade him off because he's still like a top 15 quarterback, top 15, top 17 quarterback in the NFL. So you could still probably get something good for him. But I just start looking to the future. I would assume this rebuild is still ongoing if I'm a Las Vegas fan. So we're going Malik Willis. At number 8, I got Tyler Linderbaum going to, and ignore the grades from PFF. It is what it is. Me and PFF have different boards. So Tyler Linderbaum going to the Giants here. They don't have a lot of big needs. I don't like the idea of reaching for a quarterback at this point. Like, the next quarterback on my big board is at 39 and then another one at 41. Typically, I know quarterbacks that get overdrafted, so you could, I typically I'm like I give her like probably give 30 picks, and like I'd be willing to take maybe a guy outside of the top 10, but man, I just couldn't do it. We have another pick as the Giants, so maybe we could snag someone else in the first round. This is the Bears pick, or not the Bears pick. This is the Giants pick, not the Bears pick. Bears pick comes up later, but this is the Giants pick. So I feel like Daniel Jones, he maybe is not the answer, but regardless, let's go ahead. Let's get some talent on that interior. I mean, look, the Giants, they traded for interior help. Shane Lemieux, he's not the answer. Linderbaum, he could play guard. He play center. Nick Gates, he could almost play any position on the offensive line. That's the beauty of him. So you get Linderbaum, you could kick Gates to guard, and yeah, try to solve these offensive line woes you got there in New York. Even if you have to go with Daniel Jones for another year, just give him a fighting chance then, because he's got the weapons. He just needs the protection. And Linderbaum's great, man. He's one of my favorite prospects in this class. Number 9, Oh, good one here. I got Kyle Hamilton going to the Broncos. Kyle Hamilton's a wonderful prospect. Can you imagine? Because Kareem Jackson, you got to imagine, retires at some point. But just imagine Kyle Hamilton, Justin Simmons in the same secondary is scary. And then you got obviously Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, Patrick Surtain, Bryce Callahan, all at corner. Like that's a terrifying secondary. That's bonkers. That's great. Maybe you could get by with Teddy for another year. Hey, I hear Aaron Rodgers is a free agent. Maybe you go make a grab for him. So, yeah, we're going to go with Hamilton. He's definitely worth the top 10 pick. And then at number 10, things get spicy. Brandon Joseph out of Northwestern going to the Panthers. There wasn't really a good pick here. I thought a couple of people, the players that ran through my mind for this pick were Washington tackle Jackson Kirkland, Alabama linebacker Christian Harris, and then Brandon Joseph, the safety out of Northwestern. They're going to be playing Jeremy Chin deep. I'd rather him closer around to the box, maybe slip him into the slot. I like him better in that role. I don't know how he'll entirely fare this season at deep, but getting a guy, Brandon Joseph, who has similar versatility, but probably the best range in this class. I love Brandon Joseph. I think pairing him up with Chin gives you a very versatile and a very scary safety core there. And I opted for him just because I had him higher on my board than Kirkland and Harris. So, yeah. At number 11, Andrew Booth going to the Falcons. They need help. Fabian Moreau is just a stopgap at this point. They need help at corner. I almost went Kingsley and Nagbear there, the edge, to get some edge help there for the Falcons, because I think pass rush is a huge issue. But I opted to just they need help. They really just have AJ Terrell. That's just about it. So grab it, Andrew Booth here. You might be like, oh, we're pairing up the Clemson guys. More so, I think that Dean Pease would love a guy like Booth, who is this ideal man cover guy. He can really mirror anybody. So I love him as an athlete. I think he'd be a Dean Pease guy anyway. So, and then at 12, we got the Cardinals going Chris Olave. This might be a hot take here. I thought about corner. Corner was an option here, especially Malcolm Butler potentially retiring, but I think Cliff Kingsbury's out. I think they go out, they get a coach that could, hey, let's actually run a true NFL offense here. And as you can tell, I don't have a lot of faith in Kingsbury. And let's get a true vertical threat to complement DeAndre Hopkins. You got Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore is more this after the catch guy. He's not a vertical separator. Chris Olave is that. You got a guy with true burners down the field. Can you imagine the combination of Olave, Rondale Moore, and then DeAndre Hopkins? That's deadly. That is ridiculous. I love that. I think that's a great pairing there. Great trio there. Yeah, they got Christian Kirk. He's been okay. Andy Isabella just hasn't really worked out in Arizona. And AJ Green's probably gone after the year. So I just really like this fit. I think he's a good complement to that receiving core. And then Carson Strong going to the Giants. So this is where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to maybe reach for a quarterback here, because Strong, I got him. I think he's at like 38 or 39 on my big board. But I know I didn't want to wait too long, because I would be scared of teams like Washington football team. Guaranteed, if I'm Washington, I would be taking Strong. I think he's exactly what Ron Rivera would want, this big armed type of quarterback. And then, I mean, obviously you got other teams, maybe like the Saints, the Steelers, that are looking for a quarterback. I think I had to move on quarterback, so I went for it. Carson Strong, you got the protection there. You move on from Daniel Jones. And I mean, Strong, dude, he's got great deep threats in Darius Slayton and Kenny Golladay. So let's make this work. We got a new quarterback in town now. And he's my next quarterback off the board. Another guy you could maybe make a case for, who is this, got a big arm vertically, but he's just lower on my board, is JT Daniels. JT Daniel, I want to see another season from him in Georgia, so I have him a little further down on my board. Number 14, the Saints. I go Garrett Wilson. They need something at receiver. Michael Thomas is about all they got. We'll find out. Marquez Callaway, can he kind of be this big target? He's looked good in the preseason. Traquan Smith hasn't really done anything. He's kind of like, he's like here and there. It's like a Houdini. He'll show up during a few games and then not do a lot for the rest of them. So just getting some depth at receiver is vital. Plus, Michael Thomas doesn't sound like he might be with the team very, very soon. So I'm grabbing the top wide receiver on my board. I actually have Wilson ahead of Olave. I just thought Olave was a better fit for the Cardinals and what they might be looking for. So I grabbed Wilson here. Good after the catch target, very fluid route runner. And then let's go to the next one, 15. Kair Elam going to the Steelers. I don't know about moving Cameron Sutton out to the outside. Regardless, even if it does work out, Joe Hayden, he's up there in years. They just need more depth at corner. And Elam could very easily go top 10. I love this guy's length. I love how he plays the game. I love how physical he is. I love that he is kind of a ball hawk. He has a nose for the football. He is a Steeler type of corner. So he's going here. And then at 16, I got the Chargers going Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green, he's on my tackle rankings, and I'd probably keep him there, but I think he'd be a good fit onto the offensive line. I know they just went offensive line, and they kind of revamped this offensive line for the Chargers. But still, Brian Bulaga, he's up there in years, and he gets hurt quite a bit. So maybe you could bring in Green. He could eventually be your right tackle of the future, but you can immediately play him at right guard if you want. We know he's a banger guard prospect at the very least. We'll find out if he's a good tackle prospect because he plays left tackle this year, but he is a good scheme fit. He is very good out in space, and that's what the Chargers do, man. They're going to be, for the most part, a big outside zone blocking scheme type of squad. And then at 17, Washington football team, I go Jackson Kirkland out of Washington. I go with the tackle. JT Daniels I'd consider here, but then again at this point I'm just like, you know what, screw it. Let's just maybe find a guy on day 2, or you know what, I hear there might be like a wild Aaron Rodgers in free agency, so maybe they could go with him because they have the type of squad that's just an Aaron Rodgers away from winning the Super Bowl. But I go with Kirkland. Charles Leonard's just on a 1-year deal. And is it Cornelius Lucas, right? Regardless, he's at the end of his contract after this year, so those two guys might be gone. Samuel Cosme's out there playing right tackle, so you bring Kirkland be your left. Why not? Some of y'all might say Sadiq Charles. I think he's probably going to be a guard for them. So, yeah, I'm going with Kirkland, man. He's, I think, 15th on my big board, somewhere around there. But I think he's going to be a banger type of tackle. So, yeah, just build for whoever's your quarterback next year. And then at 18, let me explain myself. I got the Eagles going Keaton Slovis. So, you might be like, why didn't you go Slovis at 17 for Washington if you were willing to take him at 18? I don't think he's what Ron Rivera wants in a quarterback. Slovis doesn't have a big arm. He's probably got his arm strength is similar to Mac Jones. If anything, it's his accuracy. This dude's stupid accurate, man. Pinpoint. I just want to see for him, I just want to see a bigger step in development from him. Granted, they had the short off season. Last year was just kind of a mess altogether for college football, but I'm going Slovis with the Eagles because he is something different, man. You can keep Hurts, fine, cool. He's kind of the legs in the backfield if you want, but let's get an accurate quarterback in there, man. Let's get a guy that has some pocket poise, that can just deliver the football. And I mean, dude, Devontae Smith, that's great. You'd be like, well, Devontae Smith, what? He's got all this speed. He's a vertical guy. No, he's not. He's the best with the ball in his hands. This guy's a very good route runner. He could run short to intermediate routes. It's not like he's a vertical guy. Like Jalen Reagor, doesn't sound like Jalen Reagor is going to be in Philly for too long. So, I'm just gonna say, I think we're gonna probably try to grab maybe some receiving help with this next pick with the Eagles, wherever it is. But I did want to get the quarterback of the future. Slovis could be that. I think it's great value here at 18. And then at 19, Kingsley and Nagbear going to the Vikings. They really haven't found quality pass rusher across from Hunter. Like you've seen, like DJ Wonham, yeah, he was fine. I think he's better a rotation type of guy though. Patrick Jones, I have no faith in. I wasn't that high on him in the draft. Nagbear though, this dude has the physicality. He's violent. I think he's the perfect guy to pair up with a guy like Hunter, who's just lightning fast and explosive. Nagbear, honestly, I would have been willing to take him higher. He's like 12th, I think, on my big board, but it just didn't fall that way. So I grabbed him here. I like the value one, too. I like this for Mike Zimmer. I think he would love this. And then at 20, I go Adam Anderson to the Dallas Cowboys. Pass rush, man. You gotta be curious. Like Randy Gregory, he's going to be a free agent after the 2021 season. Adam Anderson, he's a bit undersized at 230, but I think he could fill out. Probably has he's probably one of the most explosive guys in this class. He's got a great first step. And the dude has a knack getting after the quarterback. That's just, there's not a lot of explosiveness on that Dallas, for the pass rushers in Dallas, I guess. Yeah, the edge rushers. There we go. But yeah, maybe find a guy that could like pair up well with DeMarcus Lawrence. I think be solid. You got Bradley Anae there too, but he's not very explosive. He's just a guy that comes in and gets the job done. So if you want come in with Anderson, he could be a quality third down guy, a guy that comes in on passing down, so to speak. So, like, he could be a good guy into the rotation there. Regardless, they need help. They need pass rush. So, I got him help. 21, I'm really happy about this one. Drake London going to the Eagles. Guess what? Drake London, Keaton Slovis, they kind of know one another. They're very familiar. And plus, the Eagles have not been able to find a receiver with good size ever. Like, in a while. Not since Alshon Jeffrey. They tried with JJ Arthur-Whiteside. It didn't work out. So Drake London's a wonderful prospect, by the way. One of my favorite in this class. Great after the catch type of receiver. Very fluid route runner. Great body control. And plus him being so familiar with Slovis. Can imagine that. Like, you got London, you got Devontae Smith, you got Jalen Reagor. Hopefully, maybe he works out. All three of those guys, they could fluctuate. You could put them wherever on the field. They all have experience in the slot. So I think instantly you kind of turn around this offense to being kind of scary. So that's what I'm saying. I think we just turned around the whole roster. Like this is a contender now. This is a contender with Slovis at quarterback. Or maybe you don't believe me. I don't know. I like it. At 22, I got Ahmad Gardner going to the Patriots. I just really like this pick a lot. I'm a big fan of it. I think he is an ideal for this defense. A great press man corner. And yeah, this is a great corner class. And like, I think I got Gardner at 13, but I mean, as we saw, the corners were kind of falling a little bit anyway. And that's just going to be when you have when you have a deep positional group in the draft, you're going to see players fall. That's just what happens. 23, Detroit Lions. We're going Treylon Burks. We're going to get some size out there. A guy that could be a big big downfield target. This dude's got size, speed, physicality. This is going to be a great target downfield for Sam Howell. So I love it. Treylon Burks, he's also another one of my favorite prospects in this class. And then at 24, Myjah Sanders going to the Browns. Clowney and Tack McKinney, they're on one-year deals. So maybe you want to find someone more permanent there to start opposite of Myles Garrett. Plus, I mean, this is a very deep roster as is. So, yeah, I just kind of went with who I thought would be a really good fit. I love Sanders. He's got great length, very good get off. Just if you can learn how to use his hands a bit better, it'd be top notch. This guy, he was disruptive in the Georgia game, in that bowl game against Georgia. So, yeah, watch out for Sanders, man. He's kind of legit. And then at 25, Miami Dolphins, we're going with Christian Harris. If you didn't know, now you know. Our linebacker position's kind of a question mark after Baker. Really, because we just got rid of that linebacker we traded for from Houston. I'm not surprised. I thought we would have at least held on to him for a year, but they ended up cutting him. So I like the addition of Christian Harris because Jerome Baker, he's more of this athletic type of linebacker. While he's okay against the run, he's not great. Harris can be that guy. I think he has the ability to stack blockers because he's just stupid explosive. He's got a little power to him. He's great coming downfield. You can man this guy up on a lot of guys, and like on running backs or tight ends, and I think he'll hold his own. He's got great speed. So yeah, Christian Harris, he's kind of this athletic freak. He could have gone a lot higher. Like I said, I was thinking about him at pick 10. It just kind of fell this way. And then at 26, tight ends go Nick Bonito. He is just a Mike Vrabel type of like player. Like Bonito, for me, I think he's going to be he's very scheme dependent, man, just because of his size. But the dude's stupid explosive. He plays more to this finesse type of pass rushing style. And I think that's something Mike Vrabel will be willing to work out with. And also Bonito, he can drop in coverage. Harold Landry, they got to kind of decide what they want to do with him anyway. Because I think his contract's up after this season, I believe. Let me actually check on that before I just spew out ignorance. Yeah, he's a free agent after this season. So, yeah, they haven't figured out what to do with them. So, yeah, we potentially got the replacement for the future. I like the pick a lot. I think it's a good scheme fit. 27. Speaking of scheme fits, Iguan Wu out of NC State. He's probably going to be a guard in the NFL. You might be like, they're kind of set at guard right now. Like, Ben Cleveland's kind of a guard of the future. Kevin Zeitler. By the way, Zeitler, he's done after he's only on a 2-year deal. So technically, in going into the 2022 season, he's working under the last year of his contract. Iguan Wu, like, this is a guy you don't necessarily have to start right away. Potentially could be a guy if you want to throw a right tackle. I mean, I just think he's an extremely good scheme fit for the Ravens. They got a pretty deep roster as is. So I just went with the guy that I thought was a good scheme fit for one, and two, he's kind of legit, man. I mean, Bruce Feldman said he is the Mekhi Becton of the guard class. So, and then at 28, Trent McDuffie going to the Jets. I thought it was wise to get some help in the corner, man. I don't know. You don't know how they're going to fare, but you got to imagine they might need help at corner. They were really like Bryce Hall. I'm hoping he comes out as a banger year. I think he's a good fit for Saleh. But again, let's just grab some more help, more depth at corner. McDuffie is ideal for like this cover 2 quarters type of defense. Probably one of the best zone cover corners in this class. So good on you there. At 29, Jordan Battle going to the Bills. You might be like, they got Poyer, they got Hyde. Those guys are free agents after the 2022 season. Hyde, I think they can void out, but he's technically under contract till the 2023 season. But Jordan Battle was just too good to pass up. because I got him a little higher on my board. Grabbed him here was just good value. If anything, he's a guy I think you could play in the slot because we know that Taron Johnson, he's okay in the slot, but you could do better than that. So like Battle, he could serve a lot of different roles until maybe you move on from Hyde or Poyer. So yeah, it was just good value. Mike Jones going to the Bucks. This is a potential. This is a backup for slash heir apparent for Levante David. Because let's be honest, with Devin White, man, he's not the best coverage linebacker. Like, he looked better recently at that, but like during the last stretch of the last season, mainly, maybe like the last 4 games and then the playoffs, he looked really good in coverage. But who's to say he turns the corner there? Let's go ahead. Let's get a guy that's very good at playing coverage in Micah Jones. So yeah, if anything, this is a guy for the future here. So just add in depth, man. Just add in depth. I like it. At 31, Zack Harrison going to the Chiefs. Zack Harrison, he's very raw, but he's big. He's got good physical tools. He's very athletic. It's just kind of a Steve Spagnuolo type of guy. He likes those big, lengthy, athletic guys, and that's what Harrison is. So I grabbed him there. Maybe you could kick Chris Jones back inside. Maybe Frank Clark. Maybe things hit the fan. So maybe you got Jones, and then you could start Harrison on the other side. They got Joshua Kane down there as well, who might be a guy that could maybe be a start of the future. But regardless, they need help. They need help rushing the passer on the outside. And then the final pick of this class, I got the Packers going Jordan Pickens. That's right. Jordan Pickens. I would have loved if this was like Drake Jackson, or even I think Drake. Did I say Drake Jackson? Drake London. I thought Drake London's kind of this ideal fit there because I don't think Devontae Adams is going to be there. So grabbing a receiver that's very similar to him. So I ended up since there was no Drake London, I went with George Pickens because I think the dude does have first round potential. It's a shame he got hurt that we're probably not going to see him this year, but the guy's extremely talented, good upside, great body control. Like the dude, he's kind of like your prototypical X wide receiver on the outside there. So we went with them here, but yeah, that's our draft, man. I liked it. I thought it was pretty realistic, or at least as realistic as you can be. I don't know if people will like the Slovis Drake London combo. I like that, but again, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts believer. And then you also got to know you get Derek Stingley out of this, so that's wild. Adam Anderson, maybe I could. The way I talked about it, it's like we're getting a rotation edge rusher, but it's like I think Adam Anderson, honestly, could come in and be your starter there. It's just I think Bradley Anae is more of this run stuffer than he is an actual pass rusher. The thing is, they need help on defense, and I wanted to go with defense. Jordan Battle I considered there, but I had Anderson higher. I liked it. I liked how a lot of this went. Maybe someone I don't get it. If you're a Cardinals fan, how can you not like the Chris Olave pick? I thought it was wonderful. Anyway, that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.